When you think of a religious leader, a rabbi, a priest, typically you think about authority, somebody that's in charge, the one who knows, the one who decides. And that makes sense, right? Religious leaders, they stand in the front, they wear special clothing, they have titles, they get the microphone, and they're supposed to be above everybody else. But this week's Parsha Tetzaveh sort of flips that script, because the Torah spends an entire Parsha describing items related to the high priest. And every single detail teaches us the same lesson, that religious leadership is not about being in charge. It's about carrying others. So let's talk about that. Parshat Tetzaveh is known to be the only Parsha from the time that Moshe was born all the way until the end of the Torah where his name does not appear. And it starts, Parshat Tetzaveh, and you shall command. It doesn't say his name. And the reason that's typically given and understood, the Balaturim say that when Moshe, after the sin of the golden calf, says, if you don't forgive them, erase me from your book. And even though it was a conditional statement, and Hashem forgave the people, that still a curse from a righteous person takes effect, even if it's only conditionally. So in one Parsha, Moshe's name was erased, and that's this one. But there's an even deeper point here, that priesthood is the theme of this Parsha. This is the first Parsha that we're really introduced to the concept of the priest, the Kohen. This is Aaron's moment and not Moshe. So Moshe, the greatest leader in Jewish history, actually has to take a step back entirely so his brother could be honored. So think about that in modern terms. If you're the CEO and you build something and it's a big moment for your company and you let the COO take the stage and your name isn't even on the presentation. And this takes a different type of strength. It's not weakness, this is leadership. So the message number one is that true leadership means stepping back when it's somebody else's moment. It's about the mission, not about your name, and that your ego can't be bigger than the work that needs to be done. The Parsha also talks about the garments that the priest wore, because it doesn't just say wear nice clothes, wear a suit, dress sharp. The Kohen Gadol, the high priest, had very specific garments. On his shoulders, he wore an outer vest with 2 stones, and engraved on those stones were the names of the 12 tribes of the Jewish people of Bnei Israel. 6 tribes on one side and 6 on the other. And it says it's on his shoulders as remembrance. And that when he goes in and serves in the temple, he's carrying the Jewish people on his shoulders, literally. And then on his chest, he wears the Choshen Mishpat, a breastplate, and he has 12 stones, each one engraved with the name of a tribe. And this time it says Al Libo, over his heart. When the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, walks into the most sacred space in the universe, he has to remember 2 things, that he's not going in there for himself. He is carrying the burden of the people on his shoulders, and he is also carrying them in his heart. He has to care. That means, practically speaking, you have to understand that you're not there for you. Just like a parent understands so many times when they do something that they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for their kids' potential. Aaron also wears something called the tzitz, which is a golden plate on his forehead and says Kodesh LaHashem. And that is there to absorb certain sins that happen for communal service if something goes wrong with the sacrifice. And the Kohen absorbs that through that plate. And the message number 2 is that leadership means carrying the people you serve, their burdens on your shoulder. Their needs are on your heart, and their mistakes are on your conscience. You represent them, not yourself. A third lesson is that the garments are beautiful. They're gold, blue, purple, scarlet, fine linen, precious stones. And the Torah says, Lichavod u'litifaret, for the honor and for the splendor. Last week, when we talked about the Holy Ark, it had to be made of wood inside and gold on the outside. And the Gemara says that just like the Ark, the same principle applies to a high priest. That just like he wears beautiful garments on the outside, his inner character has to match. That if somebody is a Torah scholar and inside they don't have the right behavior or the right personality, then they're not considered a Torah scholar. So the Kohen, the high priest, just like he has to do proper service and dress a certain way on the outside, his inner character has to match on the inside as well. And we look at sometimes leaders or important people today that they look a certain way on social media or in public, but inside their character is not ideal. And that's the third message, that integrity in leadership is non-negotiable. You can fake leadership, but not before God. And the fourth lesson is that inside the Choshen, as we mentioned, right over the Kohen's heart, are the Urim V'Tumim. When the nation had a specific question, they asked their question to this plate, and the Talmud says different examples of when they asked the question and how they asked the question and how they light up. And the key is that the Kohen didn't have all the answers. The leadership didn't have all the answers. And it also wasn't used for personal matters. It was for the people. And we live in a culture, especially with AI and the ability to get the answer to everything immediately and instantly, that we can get all the answers. And leaders need to be confident and never show any doubt. And parents sometimes are nervous to say to their kids, I don't know. But the Torah says here, sometimes our Jewish leadership has to ask for help. And sometimes that's the greatest wisdom of all. That the best leaders know when they don't have the answers. That they listen, they rely on the opinions of others. And I think all of these messages tied together, and I think the reason why it's in, so to speak, the second Parsha about the Mishkan or about the service, is last week's Parsha Truma was all about the structure, the gold, the silver, the material, what we build. And I think this Parsha talks about leadership in a world where we are serving Hashem in a physical way in this world. The Pasuk always says, Lechahano li, that your brother, that Aaron has to serve to Hashem as a priest. Li, for Hashem, not for Aaron. And I think all these messages are teaching us that if you are a leader somewhere, a parent, a teacher, maybe you're some sort of manager at work, maybe you're a volunteer, you have to understand, are you carrying the people or are you just wearing the garments? Does your inside match your outside? Are you willing to ask for help when you don't have the answers? And are you doing this for the right reason? Are you doing it for God? And that's what this Parsha teaches us, that even the greatest leaders, the leaders are the ones who understand that they're representatives, not rulers, that they're servants, not bosses. And the Kohen Gadol, that's what he was.